3 people have died in a multiple vehicle collision on the N12 between Emalahleni and Oglesby in that province this morning. The Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison says that the crash was caused by reduced visibility due to heavy mist. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is standing by to tell us what more we know. Mweli.
So an update we are getting now is that the toll has risen to 4. That's according to Mweli, who is the spokesperson for the Department of Community Safety here in Mpumalanga. And the number of vehicles I've been counting since we came through here, it's about 13 that I'm actually seeing, but that's not the official count from the people who are actually been authorized to be here on the ground, the emergency personnel. But let's speak to one person who was also involved in this crash. His name is George Masomboga. His car is also part of those that were involved in the multiple vehicle crash. But Masomboga, nongasichazela nje ukuthi kahle kahle kwendekeni siyeva bathi bekunetinkumo.
Yeah, bhuti bekunzima kakhulu ngendlela kwenzeke ngakhona lana. Ekuseni masifika nathi vele kulama truck ngoba noma abachaza ngathi lento yenzeke ekuseni nabo 4 yabo. Sathi masithi mafika samamela sibhekile njena simile eceleni. Hawu seza nje kukhala ukugudla emotweni. Mangiphuma mina ngimele eceleni kube na 4 esishayisanayo emva kwami. Njoba sisibona naleya nje umlungu sakashile lapha kuleya ngozi leya mfethu bekunzima kakhulu mfababa.
Ngabe nini kunjani kuthuka ngoba sesiyeva ukuthi abantu abashonile sebangu4 manje na ucabanga nje ukuthi nawe boyingcenye yalabo labe la kule ngozi.
Futhi kona kukhona kwamina vele iside alisebenzi intamo isandla. Laba abanye sibahambile baye ubona ibhedlela abanama medical yabona abancedeke ngokusheshsha. Yabona kube yiloko nje njengoba nathi sinenje nami ngizokuyobona udokotela ngasidala nje maduze.
Na ukhuluma ngalabo labaphuthukisa esibhedlela ngabe unako yini engcondweni mhlambe lababonile ukuthi ngabe bangakhi mhlambe labathethwe?
Bhuti ngibabonile ubaba nje omdala bayi4 abambili. Ngoba lo munye ubaba ngizengakhuluma nathi uye eSwaziland manje sekunzima abantwana bafike bamthatha bamphuthumisa esibhedlela.
Ngabe uvamile ukusebenzisa lo mgwaqo ngoba labanye bayakhala bathi akusikwe kuqala kwendeka ingoti le njengale?
Bhuti omkhulu umgwaqo ngu-travela every day kuseni nentambama ngihamba la from Oglesby to Middelburg. Kuyadependa ngale mist. Sisikhathi uthi uyafika uthola imist ikahle nje mara today beyinzima kakhulu mfowabo beyinzima kakhulu.
All right, sabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho. So as you have heard, that's George Masomboga, one of those motorists that were involved in this multiple vehicle crash. So he's saying that he uses this road almost like every day, and most of the time it's misty. But he's saying that today the situation was really bad in terms of people that have been taken to hospital. He says he actually saw about 4 that were taken to hospital, and he's saying that also he was also injured. He can feel some pain on some parts of his body. So from here he will go straight to hospital. But my colleague Thabo Mkwena will show you also the vehicles that have been involved in the crash, including that one belonging to George Masomboga, who has just spoken to us. He's driving that red light motor vehicle there. So as I've said, I've been counting, it's about 13 cars that were involved in this multiple vehicle crash, and emergency services personnel are still on the ground trying to ensure that they actually comb the scene and find answers as to what might have transpired exactly. And we are told that as much as there are bodies that have now been removed from the scene, there are still some bodies that are yet to be removed. That is why you can see some of those personnel, emergency services personnel from the municipality and the province as well. They are actually still here on the scene trying to ensure that the road, the scene is attended to, but it doesn't look like this road will be open anytime soon, looking into the fact that all lanes are closed at this moment, so it will take some time for the road to be cleared. That is why then motorists are being urged to try and use alternative routes and avoid using the N12 between Oglesby and Emalahleni.
fact, we can see the traffic build up behind that wreckage, Mweli, Masilela. But while we're still in Mpumalanga, we heard yesterday from the police that 9 trucks were torched in that province. And so we are understanding that there are some reports of arrests. Have we been able to confirm this?
I spoke just a few minutes ago. I spoke to the spokesperson for the police in the province, Brigadier Salvi Mothala, asking about if there are indeed people who have been arrested already in as far as the issue of the torching of trucks is concerned. What he's telling me is that yes, they're still following some leads, but no arrests have been made so far. So they are going to update us if indeed there are people who have been arrested. You know that in Mpumalanga about 9 trucks have been satellite since Sunday. 5 were torched in Waterfall Boven. In Waterfall Boven on the N4, and then 4 trucks yesterday morning were actually satellite between Emalahleni and Piet Retief. So raising a number of questions, especially on the side of community members. They're saying that they don't feel safe now when driving, especially on the major routes, which include the N2 and the N4, because there's a lot of movement of trucks there, and now since there are these attacks, especially at night, it becomes difficult for them now to use those roads. And also in terms of like economically, we're speaking to the mayor of Emalahleni earlier today. They are also concerned. That is why then they are now working with the police to ensure that at least those who are using these routes are safe as they travel to different destinations.
Mweli, Masilela, thank you very much for that report, and we do apologize to viewers that would have found some of those visuals upsetting, reporting on the death toll that has risen now to 4 following an accident, a multi-vehicle accident on the N12 between Emalahleni and Oglesby in Mpumalanga.